Hello again, you join me in my shed and I thought I'd do a quick video on one of these. You might have seen one, you might not, but if you haven't, I think they're a great asset to any toolbox or any workshop. Yeah, I'm going to show you what it can do. And cut. So I bought this from Amazon, plastic protractor. I've put these little marks on here, by the way. It makes it a little bit easier for me to work out angles. As you can see on here, it's to determine a mitre cut or a single cut. So if we've got a 90-degree angle, then we have a look on the scale. Let's get it to 90 degrees. And then we can see on the mitre cut, which uses the inner scale, so the perimeter here, but that arrow there, we need to do a cut of 45 degrees, which is obvious. And then if we look on the opposite side, it's a zero cut. So if we're doing a single cut, we know it gets to this point here, it's at 0 degrees. But let's say, for example, we're doing skirting boards. So from on that point there, we know it's at 45 degrees, 90-degree angle, 45 degree, which shows on there. But let's say we're slightly off. Older houses have regular walls, as we know. Let's exaggerate it slightly. Let's go to an angle there. Okay, so we know that one's 90 degree. Let's see what this one is. So we set it there. We know that the mitre cut that we need to do is 52 degrees. It shows on there. But then if we're doing a single cut, let's say we're making a shelf to buff up against this wall here. So if we go to the single cut, we know that we need to do, as we can see there, a 12-degree cut. If we do it from the other side as well, if we're going around a wall from the opposite side, then it would show us exactly the same angle. So we know what mitre cut to do. And then of course, if we have an angle, we've determined this angle. If we just want to do one cut and we don't want to bother writing down what the angle degree is, then we can just take that straight to the chop saw. So say we've done a project where we've made a frame, or we've got an opening there we need to fill with, I don't know, metal, plastic, wood, whatever. We need to find out what shape that is, and to do that we need to find out what the angles are. Now on a triangle we only need to find one datum point or one line, which is there. So if we find out the length of that first of all, which is 180mm, then we need to find out what the angle from there is. Now anything past 90 degrees on this scale, so anything going beyond, which this angle is of course, then I'll use that point there, that arrow there, but there's 0, which is actually 90, and then plus whatever degree on top. So in this case, if we get it lined up, it's actually 13 degrees. So 90 plus 13, 103 degrees. Anything less than 90 degrees, which this angle is here of course, so let's get these two lined up, then I'll use the 0, so that point there, and then look what the angle is, and around 33 degrees. Now that is all we need to get a shape to fit that opening. So we know that's 180mm, we know that angle there is 103, and then process of elimination, we know that that angle there, if we're cutting from that line here, it's going to be 180, so less 103, it brings us to 77 degrees. If my maths is right. When we cut this piece out, we know we've got to cut 33 degrees here, Cuts at 103, 180 long, and then where those two lines bisect is our point. We could be belt and braces and measure that line of course as well, and the degree to be spot on. And then of course this works for the opposite way around. So if we have a flat piece there and we want to put a trim around the outside, for example, we want to know what all these mitre cuts are. So if this is a piece that we're measuring, then we get the angle there. So we know that we're doing a mitre cut, and it takes us from that arrow, it will take us to 37.5 thereabouts degrees, and the same for every other angle around the perimeter. Now let me just show you in my shed. I've got a kitchen in here, and one of the walls is off angle, so I'll show you in practice what I mean. So this wall here is actually, I can't remember what the angle is now, but if I put the angle finder, the protractor in there we go. So that's at, yeah, so it's not huge, it's looking at approximately 5 degrees. Another thing you can use it for, let's say again skirting board, and you've got the wall here and the floor there, and we were taking skirting board up against this wall here. Now if the wall isn't vertical, slightly off, then we can get the protractor out against that wall, tell us what the cut is. It might only be 1 degree, but when we're doing a cut and we want it to be absolutely spot on, at least we know it's going to get right up against that wall. I've seen a lot of people actually as well cut these down. It's only plastic, chop it down, so if you're in a tight corner you can get right in there, but I think for the price it's worth doing. Look on the back here, we've got a tensioner screw to adjust the resistance moving. Now at the minute I've just got it, I think, at the sweet point where it's just got enough resistance so it stays in position. Let's say you're carrying it from what the angle is you're trying to find, let's say to the mitre saw, but what you really don't want to do is do it too loose so it's floppy. It would be better actually if this was a hand adjustment rather than a screwdriver screw attachment. It's fairly robust, it's got a bit of flex on there, and it's got 2 little holes on the end there, so if you close them together you can hang it on the wall. Let me know if you found any other uses for these. I'd be really interested. I say I'm not an expert, these are just the things I've discovered whilst using it. So there it is, the plastic protractor. I think it's a great bit of kit. I wonder if you feel the same. Put your comments below, give me a thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. See you again, take care, cheers.